terms things are going to be phased in. This will not go through immediately, but they're going to be phased in throughout the next, 2-3 years. And it looks like that the first thing, and I'm actually a huge supporter of this, we'll go line by line, 65 game minimum for players to be award eligible.
It
So
was
we're
like 84 games already, 82,
82 games for a season. So that means you got to play pretty much like
like 20 games.
75% of the season to even be considered for award. And what award are we talking about? We're talking about any of them. We're talking about Rookie of the Year. We're talking about MVP. We're talking about Defensive Player of the Year. We're talking about Most Improved Player, because there has been some times where players didn't think that they should have been in it because they didn't really play that many games. Like I know when Ben Simmons won Rookie of the Year, even though he sat out his whole rookie season with the injury, they still let him
Or
classify as a rookie, even though
LaMelo Ball, how he beat Anthony Edwards from Timberwolves. I still say that cheated. He cheated.
no, LaMelo deserved that
Lies.
clean sweep. Anthony Edwards, not that
But
guy.
yeah, with the whole 65 minimum game, I mean, I guess this is gonna stop the whole Kawhi Leonard thing. The whole we don't play back to back games. I guess this means that there's no more LeBron James ever been in the conversation of winning MVP. But
I don't want to hear any more talk about Joel Embiid, because this man does not ever play 65 games.
this is about
This man will never. You always talking about it's between him or Jokic. It's just Jokic, because Jokic plays games. Embiid is like got the Kawhi syndrome.
It's like 20 games. So 20 games. That means basically if you get injured once, that's basically you can't get MVP.
Yeah. If you have an injury that's longer than like 2 weeks, you're not eligible that year.
That's crazy. I mean, like it's free. I mean, that Paul George will never make it.
Well, I think they got tired of so many players that like don't play back to backs, and they're not even injured. They're just trying to rest them for the playoffs. So it's like you got guys missing 20, 25 games by choice, not even that they're injured. It's because y'all trying to save them. Well, I guess those guys will have no interest of winning these end of year awards if they decide to do that.
Pretty much.
So they're gonna make. I agree with this, because I don't understand. I mean, I know it takes a lot of energy to play games, but even back in the day when I was playing basketball all the time, you would play like 7 or 8 games in one evening and it'd be no problem. And these guys can't even play one game with all these TV timeouts and commercial timeouts and these different things for the game and the free throws and all that. I think there's no excuse. There's no excuse for these fine-tooth athletes to be in that amount of shape, but then they can't play all these games. If you can't play all those games, then maybe go play in China or somewhere else, because you're not cut out for it. So I was really tired of the laziness I've seen in the league, and hopefully this will clean up some of that laziness from a lot of the players.
True. Then next we have the in-season tournament. So I guess they're trying to be like, the NCAA, where they have like different tournaments during the season. But the thing is, what if you get injured during the in-season tournament? So is it like you play 82 games, but then you have the in-season tournament also? So
well, they said they're going to count games part of regular season. So if you play maybe like 10 games in this tournament, it's not like you're going to play 82 games plus 10 games. It's just they're going to work it out where that's part of your 82.
we got to keep up with that.
Yeah, I haven't seen them actually explain that. So we'll keep you up to date if we get updates on how they're actually going to do that with the in-season tournament. Because, is this going to be like, are they going to have like division tournaments, or is it going to be like conference? Like there'll be an East and West Coast champion, and maybe you get like a pick or something. We got to see what's the deal and what is the incentive to actually win these in-season tournaments. You're going to see increase from 2 to 3 two-way player slots.
That's
I actually
good.
really like this.
More G League players get in.
You have a lot of guys in the G League that earn their way, and some guys play so well that they actually work their way into fully guaranteed contracts. So, I think with a lot of the injuries and like a lot of the guys sitting out, like we said, having an extra guy that's on your roster that you could call up from the D League, and if you need to spend a month with the team or 2 weeks with the team, you can do that. So that's only going to be better for the players. Increase the upper limits of extensions from 120 increase to current deal to 140%. So that's basically saying that, they'll be able to make a little bit more money even though they're already balling out.
In the second salary cap apron, 17.5 million. So I guess you can get a couple more veterans at the veteran minimum now.
Well, no, yeah, it's the second salary cap apron. So that's saying if you're over the salary cap by 17 million, that you don't qualify for the mid-level exception, because you know how a lot of years that's what all the teams would use, like
Uh-huh.
the Warriors, or if LeBron was on the Lakers or the Cavs, that they would maybe use that mid-level exception to add like a medium player. You're not going to add like an all-star, but you can add like a
A
upper
veteran, like an
upper
Andrew,
veteran.
like an
Yeah,
Andre Iguodala.
yeah, like an Iguodala, or somebody that you feel could help your team in the run. So if you're over the salary cap that much, you're not going to have access to
Mhm.
that mid-level exception. So that means you only will have veterans minimum contracts.
Okay, okay. We're gonna keep
And
y'all posted with the what happened?
I was going to say one last thing with this. I heard that they're basically, I don't know if it's really listed here or
Uh-huh.
part of that second salary thing, but they're going to reward teams that draft their guys. So you know how a lot of times, the Thunder have a lot of good young guys, and it's
Yeah.
like, oh, are they going to pay Shea Gilgeous? Are they going to pay Dort? Are they going to pay Giddy?
Huh?
Because they're coming up on their deals. Well, now if you drafted them, I don't think that's going to count against the salary cap.
Whoa.
So if you actually drafted a player, you can probably have like four guys with max contracts. Or I think they said three guys with, because before, if you had three big guys on the team,
Mm-hmm.
they would have two guys that get the max contracts, and then the third guy would get a little bit of less than one and two. But with this thing, that you would be able to have three full max contracts players if you drafted them, and you wouldn't be over the limit. So it's really incentivizing you to stay with the team that drafted you, as far as you can have a lot more opportunities to build your team and not be, kind of cut back with that.
Okay, okay. So as we're gonna keep y'all up to date with this NBA news, the NBA agreement with the CBA. Hey, is Chris Paul still running this CBA stuff?
He was the president of the basketball operations, but I don't know if he stepped down or if he's still doing it. He might still be the main guy. Put in the comments below, is CP3 still the president of basketball when it comes for representing the players, or did they get somebody else? I thought they were going to get someone else, because it was looking like CP3 was going to be out the league, but he finds a way to stay in.
Mr. Mr. Safe Arm. But speaking of